life used to be simple when the only place you could do your work was, particularly office work, say, was sitting at a desk, and you were in a kind of 9 to 5:30 culture, so you commuted to and from the office and you turned off as you went home. That, you can argue, was a kind of simplistic model of work, and, but it was at least kind of manageable, and the work didn't spill over to the rest of people's lives. But it also was a very restricted regime, because saying to people you can only work, or you should only work at certain hours of the day, doesn't allow for the fact that some people work better at certain times of day than others. A little test for you. And all of you probably are employed because you use your brain. Probably, if computers can do the routine stuff, you employ humans to do the creative stuff. So where are you most creative? Who gets their best creative ideas? Where are they? Give me some ideas.
In the bath.
In the bath, thank you, yes. Any other suggestions? At home, walking, yes, taking exercise. Often that's, people could refresh their mind. Sorry, one over there?
Sleeping, dreaming.
Sleeping, yes. Well, another little test. How many people here have a pad of paper, or these days a smartphone, next to the bed? So if they wake up with a good idea, they record it before they can forget it. Wow, that actually is that's quite a few. Okay. You might be joining, of course, it seems to me the latest survey said something like 25% of professionals who now go to bed with their smartphone. The first thing they do in the morning, before they maybe even say hello to their partner, is look at their smartphone and see what emails are coming overnight. Now, we laugh a bit and it's sad, but it's kind of, in a sense, real. And it doesn't matter if your best time of day for contributing ideas is when you wake up and your employer is employing you to contribute ideas. Why shouldn't you work that way? It's the most sensible thing. When the kind of surveys have done this, the place that always comes at the bottom of the list for creative working is sitting at a desk in an open plan, crowded, noisy office. So what do we do to our creative people? We say, you come to work, here's your job, there's your desk, sit there and be creative. And you've got a contract that says you work from 9 till 5. What are we deliberately putting people in the least creative environment to do knowledge work? How mad is that? But we do that because we've got systems and cultures that were built in a pre-digital age. So we're going to start and think about how can we integrate work into lives that allows for the fact that we have this digital flexibility and that people can now not get work-life balance, which we tend to refer to, because that's like work and life are different things, so you have to kind of balance them. What we need is work-life integration. So, if it's a wet Sunday afternoon and you want to catch up with a few emails for work, why shouldn't you? If it's a nice sunny Monday morning, why shouldn't you go for a walk with the dog and turn up at your office at 11 o'clock? If that's the way you're able to do your job, then you should have control of doing that. You can integrate work into the rest of your life if you're in control. If your boss is in control, and he or she has a conventional view of work, then if you're not at your desk at 9 o'clock in the morning, that's a disciplinary offence. And off we go into conventional work practices again. Often supported by policies and systems and the HR function and discipline and all these things that we put in place, because that's good management, that's good control, isn't it? Well, that was good control in the Victorian age, maybe, but not now. So what you've taken is old work practices, you've got to come together and layered across that new technology. Yeah, we come to work, we all sit around the table and communicate with each other on our devices. That's mad. What to do is rethink leadership. How are we going to create organisations that do this differently? This is your typical male executive saying, yeah, I understand the digital world is here and we've got the IT department worrying about that. And yes, of course, we're doing our bit for flexible working. We have a policy that allows employees to do it. Of course, at director level, we have to work long hours because that's the way you have to work. But we appreciate that other people can, of course, work part-time or more flexibly. Hidden message there, Dave, not so hidden. If you want to get on in this organisation, you better be a long hours worker. You better not have family commitments or anything invested in the way. Otherwise, you won't get on. But we do in principle support agility, of course, and we do in principle support flexible working. Just believe what I do, not what I say. And the leaders are setting very often a bad example. I hate to say this, sometimes female executives who you think would be a good role model actually have more, let's call it male-orientated work practices than men, because to get on in a male culture, they've actually adopted those practices in order to succeed. The world is now changing at last. We've had data recently in the media about the gender pay gap being still very significant and being greater as you go up the organisation. So leaders haven't been doing much and need to think about doing it